Good afternoon to one and all. Myself Amol Daima, working in Shivajirao S. Zondale College of Engineering and Technology as a faculty member, Mechanical Engineering. Shivajirao S. Zondale Knowledge City Asangao is nothing but multiple opportunity under one roof. Knowledge City is started by a trust, Vignaharta Trust, who is running under the dynamic leadership of Honorable President Dr. Shivajirao S. Zondale sir and Honorable Secretary Mrs. Geeta Khare Madam. In Knowledge City Asangao, the different institutes which are running are the Shivajirao S. Zondale College of Engineering and Technology is recently accredited by NAC with B++ grade. Shivajirao S. Zondale Polytechnic, which is consecutively getting excellent remark by MSBT, and they have also applied for NBA. Then Shivajirao S. Zondale Institute of Management Science and Research, then Shivajirao S. Zondale College of Pharmacy, in which UG and diploma pharmacy programs are running. Then Shivajirao S. Zondale Institute of Science and Commerce, then Shivajirao S. Zondale Institute of Law and Research, and Dr. Shivajirao S. Zondale International School, Kindergarten, Preschool. Recently, the school has been awarded by a best school for hygienic and safety environment. Now, Knowledge City campus is a state-of-art infrastructure in which auditorium, centralized AC auditorium with a capacity of 500 people, then gymnasium with the modern gym equipment, then seminar hall, library with e-library facility are available. Apart from this, well-equipped laboratories and ICT-enabled classrooms, etc. Then in Knowledge City campus, apart from academics, our students, they are participating in different activities like project-based learning. Then we are arranging software training program, paper presentation, poster presentation for them. And all our students of Knowledge City, they are every year they are participating in national level competitions like Smart India Hackathon and ACE Baha competition at national level, and they are securing the prizes. Apart from academic and apart from technical and professional knowledge, we are also inculcating social responsibilities among students by using by our NSS wing and UBA, Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. Thank you.
Education is an adventure and it never ends. It is a very challenging but also an amazing opportunity to relearn and test our capabilities and value systems. Good afternoon to one and all. This is Gayatri Naik welcomes you all for the 3 days national level webinar on research techniques and challenges from 26th May to 28th May 2020. Organized by Internal Quality Assurance Cell, Shivajirao S. Zondale College of Engineering, jointly with Shivajirao S. Zondale Polytechnic, Asangao. The main purpose of research is to inform action, to prove a theory and contribute to developing a knowledge in a field of study. In yesterday's session, we saw interpersonal skills in research, where we learn interpersonal skill is the ability to interact with people through effective listening and communication. We all have same 24 hours and learning to use them to their best potential with people through effective listening and communication. This is the third day of our program and we will be conducting session on stress and time management during research by Dr. Ajay R. Kambekar sir. I welcome you sir. Now I request Dr. Ajay Kambekar sir to proceed the session. Thank you.
Are you able to see now?
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay. Fine. Okay, so good afternoon to all the participants and faculty members. Third day of the webinar series organized by SS Jonesday College of Engineering, Asanga. In last 2 days, we have studied research ethics and interpersonal skills in research. Our today's topic is stress and time management in research. So let us start with how to cope up with stress and how to manage the time while doing research. Now, what are our learning objectives? Our learning objectives are as follows. We want to have an improved focus and attention, increase comprehension. We want to improve our problem solving abilities. We want to improve our test scores, academic performance, also to improve the health and social life along with the research. Overall, we want to improve the learning abilities along with social life. These are all our overall objectives of the today's session. So I hope the target audience is research scholars who are pursuing their PhD or master studies. All of us are going through so many challenges at the personal level, professional level. We know that the work is quite expanded in today's life. Means most of the time we are traveling, commuting, and the time is condensed. Available time is less. In that also we want to pursue our research for achieving the academic qualification, doctoral studies. In general, there are 4 years for us to complete our thesis, research work, experimentation, mathematical modeling, paper publications, attending conferences, and so on. We have coursework, literature review, we need to define the problem, we need to learn many techniques. So there are higher expectations and quantum of work. There are expectations about quality and deepness of our research work along with the publications, good quality publication. Quality publication, I mean to say, in reputed journals or reputed conferences. And this slide, naturally there is a relation of researcher with the supervisor, right? When we join PhD or research program, how we see ourselves. We can see how we see ourselves. and how our professor or supervisor will see us. You consider that you have to solve so many complex problems. Professor consider you as a brain, will do some miracles. There are certain hopes and dreams, some aspirations to the professor, those who are supervising you. So, quite complex situation. What are the expectations now? Since the number of research scholars are exponentially rising now, the number is increasing, and the student faculty ratio is a quite major concern. Available faculty are reducing and enrollment of students are increasing. So there are certain problems again. If number of students are increasing, faculty student ratio is increasing, or there will be always problem of sharing some computational facilities, laboratory equipment, also hostels. Suppose it is a residential campus. So all these numbers are fixed. So there will be naturally a pressure. The major concern, I think, again is for any research to do is finance, the cost. You cannot simply depend on stipends. You need to find out some resources or the sources of fund from where we can buy some equipment, from where to do these recurring expenses. And also there will be some manpower cost. What happens? In addition to this, we have to face challenge that the supporting staff which is helping us to carry out some experimental work, they are slowly decreasing. So multiple challenges while entry level itself. What does it mean? We want to finish our qualification as early as possible. So we need to have well-defined objectives, planned activities, and very well focused, concentrated focus. You know that all the researchers mostly they spend their time in laboratories and computations to do more and more productive work. Researchers generally get less time to relax and very less time for following some pursuits, hobbies, relationships. So all these results in higher stresses and lower creativity. And what is the major problem again with the PET is that it's our own problem. Even though there are many stakeholders while giving you data, but the problem has to be solved by an individual. It is the individual's thesis. So sharing anything from ideas to resources and spending time doing so is a stressful experience. What happens with the advisor of the supervisor? Already they are packed with some administrative work, having some research projects, some consultancy projects. So they spend less time on a research scholars. Mostly. So interaction with student reduces. And then the relationship between student and advisor becomes less communicated. Then naturally it happens that the thesis may be badly guided. So what is the solution? How to tackle this problem? The time spent on research by the student is considered as the more valuable than anything else. More than the equipment, substances, or travel cost. The research productivity of research scholar depends on the quality of scholar itself and his or her productivity. there will be always less importance to the availability of funds and infrastructure. Since the focus goes to the research scholars' quality and productivity. What happens today now? In today's world, the market-driven economy. So naturally, a poor quality of thesis will not be bought by someone or purchased by someone. It's also a kind of pressure. It leads to lower self-confidence and esteem. There are now poor prospects in the job market also, if there is no quality in the thesis. So there are certain ways by which we need to structure the PhD. What happens in general, the supervisor under whom we register for our PhD work, generally supervisor would like to do the same topic which he has guided earlier, or the topic on which the supervisor has already worked. And there may be a conflict between student and supervisor, because student is coming or researcher is coming with his or her own expectation, her own ideas, his own ideas, and then slowly conflict starts. So major focus goes on advisor-student relationship and expectation, both ways. And traditionally, we need to again do some administrative work, some processes with administration. We have to attain some facts for completion of coursework. Some methodology we need to adopt to work on the research project. There are some administrative procedure for thesis evaluation also. All this is together will mount the pressure. Same time, there will be a pressure of changing what is changing. Because now everyone is talking of IPR, intellectual property rights, the most valuable commodity, and technology is becoming rapidly obsolete. Research is becoming more and more specialized, and the market is becoming highly mobile and uncertain. So there is a gap between nations and within the society, which is increasing exponentially. So what we plan when we start for our research, when we join, the plan you tell to your advisor is I am going to be a professor at a major research university after graduation. What is actually your real plan is? You are looking for a career or the career alternative. How you can earn from this PhD or doctoral degree. And what is the back end plan in your mind? There is a secret plan. It is not visible to anyone. Either you want to become a baker, rock star, writer, banker, financial advisor, share market consultant, sports personality, advisor, so on. So now there will be a conflict. So stress starts building up. And then you need some help from the counselor. What are the psychological phases of PhD? There are initial phases, pre-PhD. We go with some initial idealism. We call it as romanticism. Following the significance of research problems, we have not many attractions. Opportunity to solve exciting problems. We always look for an opportunity to solve the exciting problem. And that too, we are doing it for the recognition. We want intellectual satisfaction by solving the problem. And overall, we want to help the humanity in general. So if there is an important research problem, it takes time, takes experience, needs speed, and lot of funding. If we focus on such kind of important research problems, it may go beyond our scope of PhD. What is PhD is that? PhD is all about learning to identify and solve research problems rather than solving a bigger problem, but the most important one in the field. What happens to beginners, which is a highly interactive phase at the entry level? You have to go with coursework, researcher survey, learning the required techniques. Same time, there are new inmates in your laboratory, hostel, campus. You will go on building the relationship with colleagues. You want to take a feel, enjoy the feel of workplace. At the same time, you want to be comfortable in the research laboratory. It will remain as advisor dependent. What will happen then? You spend more time with the advisor since you are expecting much more from your advisor. You may think that advisor will help you to complete your PhD either 3 years or less than 4 years. What happens in that? We'll try initially to impress the supervisor or the advisor. What happens then again? If you are sitting in the lab, I think you can understand from the 3 frames in this slide. Do I need to explain what does it mean? You are sitting in a lab, you have colleagues, and most of the time you are spending in the lab. Less time in the hostel. So naturally, you get some colleagues. They have their own interest. You are engrossed in your PhD problem to identify what was the objectives of your PhD. So naturally, the conflict will start. What to do? Where to focus? Now, what happens in second or third year? It's called as a development stage or development phase or the progress phase. Some progress happens. You want to define the problem and the specific agenda for the field. This period is a period of isolation. You want to be alone. You don't want to interact with your colleagues. Because now your focus is objectives, how to solve it. Research objectives. So slowly you will start sitting in the laboratory, in front of computer, understanding the tools, doing the literature rigorously. So naturally there will be a less interaction with the advisor and you will be fully engrossed in problem. Then there will be a stage which will come as isolation and lack of direction. And slowly you will understand what are your strengths and limitations. We will be knowing what are our understanding and misunderstandings. What happens in third and fourth year? It is called as the most creative phase. So now we have gone through a lot of literature, a lot of experimentation. And we know that now. A bigger problem is impossible to solve. So on the PhD I am talking. So our eyesight is very clear, mind is very clear. Problem and methodologies are clear. And outcome will start slowly. And it will be characterized by increase in self-confidence. less dependence on guidance supervisor. You have more clarity of objectives, better organization of activities, and we'll have always our expectation to be converted into the results as a publication. And slowly, you'll also be in competition with your peers. Your senior colleagues are indifferent, they are separate, they are solving their own problems. You want to discuss something with your seniors, they don't have time. If you have your own idea which are developed, you want to discuss critically, but they don't have no time. So slowly you will start group leadership. You try to explain your problem, objectives, and get more and more into that. And slowly you will also start mentoring to the junior research. And then slowly, since you are mature and confident, there will be increased interaction with the advisor. You want and you expect more and more support and guidance from all. You want to get involved with everyone now. What happens in concluding phase? That is last part of fourth year or say fifth year. You want to wind up the PhD work as early as possible. You want to write a thesis, publication, and also future. So you are not alone. There is somebody behind you or looking for you. So there will be a naturally now your interest will go down on a research project. Because now your mind is diverted in number of directions. You will be knowing the limitations. And at the same time, you know that our research problem has not wider proposition. What feelings comes then? Let me just come to an end and get out of this video. And since you have gone through a lot of literature, you will be knowing many hot areas which are coming, emerging areas. So there is a chances of disappointment, dissatisfaction, or regret with the thesis. That you may think that you could have done much more or better, and always will have a fear that whether my work is outdated. This will again create some stress. You'll have some great deal of inertia, inaction, boredom, writing the thesis. Always there will be uncertainty about the immediate future, whether I'll get job, or do I need to go for postdoctoral fellowship, or do I need to continue here in the same institution as a project staff? Do I need to work for some research project? We'll be looking more obsessively for the job and future. So instead of PhD write-up, we'll be spending more time on future prospects. So slowly we'll start avoiding the advisor and colleagues. What is pressure then? Colleagues will always ask you when you are finishing your PhD and what you will be doing after PhD. So this is additional burden and pressure. Questions will start coming from all corners of society. What you will be doing after PhD? So there will be a repetitive steps. Work, dissipative processes. Lot of information is coming from all the sides. There is a lack of appreciation from the advisors of the peers. Because now supervisor is knowing what is quality of your work. Loss of self-esteem. And the researcher may have a feeling of lack of input and motivation at the appropriate moment in the past and topic. You wanted some motivation in the initial phases, and now you are feeling that, you are remembering that. You have not received that motivation at the initial phase. It will cause additional stress. What are the other factors which will cause or reduce the performance? Poor sleep, eating patterns, poor diet, reduction in physical exercise, haphazard way of living. And now since you are engrossed in your PhD write-up, lose friendships and community activities. Most importantly, the last statement. You cannot get involved in romantic relationships. I also observed this. What are the indications of this? You'll have increasing fatigue, increasing bad temper, restlessness, health disorders, and you want to delay everything now. You have tendency develop to delay and postpone. Slowly you will start avoiding socializing. You will be less on social media, more in the laboratory, or more in the computational lab. You will then exposed to the addictive habits. Maybe smoking, drinking, overeating, oversleeping. All these are addictions. There may be other way of addictions that watching TV, sending a lot of emails, receiving emails, reading emails, chatting, browsing the web. So excessive socialization is highly possible. And that excessive socialization with certain individuals is mostly possible. Now what will happen? The supervisor is asking you, are you concerned about the increase in artificial intelligence? He or she, your supervisor want to introduce one more topic in your research. What you are saying? You say now you are confident. No, but I am concerned about the decrease in real intelligence. Now there is a chance, there will be a conflict. Since your supervisor want to introduce some more topics, emerging areas in your research, you are already fed up with. So you have to take care. There should not be a friction between you and supervisor. We want to organize our PhD progress now. What is most important thing now? We must have maximum 1 or 2 objectives, not many more. We may write 5, 6, 10 objectives in first year during coursework. Slowly after second or third year, these objectives will be limited to 2 objectives. The most important is that these objectives must be clear with some endpoint. At least one objective must be open-ended so that next student can come and start the problem at the end of your research problem. And we should identify the problem which is significant and solvable within 2-year time. We need to identify areas of work which are most difficult. Identifying the areas those which will take more time. And the areas which are easy and will take less time. So our work should be designed in such a manner that output is publishable in a reputed publication. What to do? Finish the coursework as early as possible. Learn the skills in the first semester itself. Create the virtual deadlines. And there should be some real deadlines also. There should be a comparison between virtual and real deadlines. There are certain conference deadlines also. So we need to notify these all important conferences on calendar or in diary. And we should start writing the chapters or cases slowly from the second year itself. It helps us to focus better on the problem. So if we target PhD for 3 years instead of 4, we need to take certain steps right from beginning. Now let us come to the relationship between advisor and researcher. What we should be? We should be very clear about advisor's objective, priorities, short-term and long-term goals. If not clear, please ask the supervisor diplomatically, not straightway. What are your expectations? Don't ask straightway. Sir, what are your expectations? Sir or madam? It is better to define mutual expectation as early as possible. Also to avoid misunderstanding. Misunderstanding cannot come at the later stage. And diplomatically spell out what your expectations are and find out diplomatically again out of what is expected of you by the supervisor. Also be clear about your advisor's strength and limitations and where you can get help. What are those helps now? In defining what you can do. So from which corner you will get help and what an individual he can do. I hope the participants are understanding what I mean to say, getting some responses to chat. So we need to have harmony with the advisor. We need to understand the personality of advisor, his or her working approach. What we need to do? We need to fix some regular appointment. And the time, we need to understand the time when the supervisor is relaxed and when we can spend or your supervisor can spend time with you. It is more important than you have to identify the time of supervisor when a supervisor can spend sufficient time with you. Since advisor or a supervisor may have multiple activities. So high priorities, multiple research projects, but we must think into the mind that there should not be any compromise for any of other tasks or helping your supervisor. We always need to understand that you have to work like a professional. What happens between you and colleagues? Always avoid one-upmanship with the colleagues. Don't show that you are smarter. Don't show that you are very close to your boss or the supervisor. Respect always the diverse point of view when you are discussing with others. Be clear in your feelings. Contribute something in group meetings. Assist in solving your colleagues' troubles. And contribute to a better laboratory atmosphere. What will be the counteracting effects? We start slowly regular exercise with reasonable diet, take 7 hours sleep, focus on some hobbies and get diverted, have some social interaction. So we'll have a broader philosophical outlook. If required, we should never be afraid of asking for counseling. Above all, we need to be cheerful all the time. If you want to be relaxed during PhD time, it is waste of time. So there are certain things which we need to avoid. You should avoid any interesting problem which is not related to your thesis. Avoid social work as much as possible. Keep holidays as less as possible, as small as possible. Be aware of the romantic affairs. What is the global scenario? It's a knowledge economy. This is to become driving force for economic growth. There is a possibility that researcher will be employed on contract on a problem only. So research job will be slowly becoming a contractual place. Academic institution will become more market driven and flexible in operation, which we are observing right now. What are the adaptations required? Acquisition of knowledge, interdisciplinary skills, teamwork, working on projects. So it is extremely important to develop interpersonal skills, communication skills, leadership skills. You need to focus on technology development, transition from basic research to technology development, and acquiring new skills, technology innovation, patenting, marketing, and entrepreneurship scheme. Let us come to the last two slides of my presentation. Hope you have enjoyed earlier 2 days presentation on research ethics and interpersonal skills in the research. Let us see something from this. Hope you enjoyed this. I want to share one more and then we'll end the session. Please take care of that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for very informative and interesting session. Now, I invite our principal, Dr. Mrs. Geeta Jairaj ma'am, to share her views about the session.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kambekar, for delivering a talk on such a relevant topic, stress management and time management in research. You have explained very well about the causes of stress while doing research, as well as how to tackle the stress also. Thanks for sharing a very meaningful and a beautiful video. Thank you. As we all know, stress is developed in every human due to many reasons, and it is quite natural. For students, stress is caused by challenges and competitions during education. This affects their health as well as their learning abilities. If a person is not able to manage time, then also stress will be developed. So what I feel, we need to train students to deal effectively with the stressful issues and factors. And this kind of training in stress management and time management improves students' mental health as well as physical health. The reasons for stress also vary from person to person. For students, that could be academic pressure, time management, finance, friendship, etc. And the reasons also are to be analyzed. Now, if we look at the lockdown period, stress is developed not only among students but also among all, because we are all staying at home. Our physical movement is restricted. If we go out, we need to maintain social distancing, etc. Especially people, those who have the habit of traveling in groups. For example, traveling together to their workplaces, meeting people at religious places, get together at recreation centers or park, etc. They feel loneliness during this lockdown period, due to which stress is developed. So I would like to share few suggestions from my experience to reduce the stress are positive thinking or healthy thinking, which is very, very important. The second point is adaptability. Now take the example of this COVID-19 pandemic. Instead of talking about the academic loss, we all faculty members and students try our level best to continue our teaching learning through various e-learning platforms. So what I mean to say, we need to handle the situations positively, keep the negativity away, keep the activities well organized and planned, maintain good communication with family, also build up healthy relationships, and the most important, stay fit and stay healthy. Do regular exercises, yoga, meditation, etc. So in short, I would suggest involve in various creative activities, engage yourself so that it will be benefited to you as well as to the society. Thanks to all the participants for watching our 3-day webinar continuously and very patiently. Thanks to your suggestions and comments. Hope you have learnt about research ethics, interpersonal skills, stress management and time management in research. I hope all the participants enjoyed this 3-day session. My special thanks to Professor Amol Dema, Professor Anvesh Virkunwar for their great support to make this webinar so successful. Also my thanks to Professor Mrs. Gayatri, Professor Aarti Farande and Professor Mrs. Shweta Chinchulani for their excellent teamwork and coordination to organize this event successfully. I also take this opportunity to express my sincere thanks to our management for their motivation and great support to organize this webinar. Thank you.
Ma'am, for your valuable suggestion. It is very useful for all of us. Now, after a beautiful session and gaining a lot of knowledge, it's a time to move towards a conclusion. So, I request Mr. Anvesh Virkunwar sir to give a vote of thanks and conclude today's session. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks. We, Shivajirao S. Zondle College of Engineering and Technology and Shivajirao S. Zondle Polytechnic, Asangau. Sincere thanks to Dr. A.R. Kambekar sir for delivering a talk on research ethics, stress and time management, and interpersonal skills on research. Sharing your valuable knowledge with all the participants, and we are very much sure that we are benefited by your highly informative talk. I would also like to express my hearty thanks to Dr. Shivajirao S. Zondle sir, President, Vignaharta Trust, and Geeta Khare Madam, Secretary, Vignaharta Trust, and all management members for continuous support and motivation. I would also like to thank Dr. Geeta K. Jairaj Madam, Principal, Shivajirao S. Zondle College of Engineering and Technology, Asangaon, and Dr. Sneha H. Zondle Madam, Principal, Shivajirao S. Zondle Polytechnic, Asangaon, for continuous motivation and support. Lastly, I would like to thank all the participants and all the members who have directly and indirectly supported to successfully organize this 3 days webinar on research techniques and challenges. Thank you very much. We will be back with many more expert lectures in near future. I request all the participants to fill the feedback form. Thank you.